Welcome! It's time for next episode of Recruitment Innovation, and today I have Ari Beilinson with me from a Finnish company called Recruit by Net. And Recruit by Net is basically working to make video interviews more easier and to be used by the companies. But I will let you, Ari, tell more about and a little bit maybe as well if you could tell why this company has been founded. And let's continue from then to go to the more in details what the service is about.
Okay, hello Aki, and thanks for inviting me to this blog interview. It's great to see how this format of information will work in the internet. And Recruit by Net has been now operational for about a year, and the idea was born inside the recruitment industry here among the Finnish players. And the innovation was based on the sort of a desire to speed up the hardest part of recruiting a person, and that is the personal interview part. So our founders were thinking that after the job ads went to the internet and the modern ATSs were born, so not much has happened in the front of IT systems to help the actual recruitment and the recruitment interview. So after a couple of rounds, Recruit by Net was born, and we'd like to think that we have a very user-friendly way to conduct video interviews in recruitment. So that's basically the background of our company.
Okay, that's very interesting. And basically isn't at the front end, so you basically manage your very first part of the recruitment process, or selection process, if you wish. Or can you go more in details? How does the service actually works?
So the service works in such a way that it's totally cloud-based, and anybody can sign up from our pages at recruitby.net. And the interface towards, for instance, recruitment system is such that basically you receive your applications in your recruitment system or ATS.
Yep.
After that, you sort of sign up or sign in at Recruit by Net, where you record your interview questions. You send them out with an email invitation to the candidates that you want to interview, and then you conduct your interview inside Recruit by Net.
Okay.
And as a result, you have the finalists, 1, 2, maybe 3 people that you want to meet in person and interview in person. And basically then you return the information back to your ATS and go into the physical interviews itself.
Okay, that's very interesting. So basically the candidates as well, they answer whenever they have the suitable time for the answers, and you as a recruiter then browse around those answers within the few days after you have started the process.
Yeah, so the normal case is that, let's say that the application period ends today, and then I have 100 applications on my desk.
Yep.
I select 20 people to this long list. All of those guys will receive an invitation from me to participate in a Recruit by Net interview. I give them, because now it's Friday, I would give them time until Monday evening to come back with their replies. And then at that point in time, I go through the answers together with my colleagues who may be sitting wherever in the world. They have their own access to the same interview. And we evaluate that, okay, who are the 2 finalists that we would like to meet in person?
Yeah.
And basically that process then can take place within 1 day. And then within 1 day you are able to select from your long list the people you want to see in person.
Yeah, that sounds like a little bit faster process than typical company. Maybe at least in Nordics has currently. So how has the clients received this tool, and what has been the feedback?
Well, clients are very excited about the tool, and we have had a very nice client uptake during the latter part of last year, and we are going to continue with that growth. And maybe more surprising has been the feedback from the candidates, because the candidates who are invited to a Recruit by Net interview really appreciate the information that they receive about the company. Because many candidates, they have read the company's web pages and the job postings and maybe spoke to their friends, but in this Recruit by Net, when they receive the questions spoken on video,
Yep.
and there might be 2 or 3 people from the employer side,
Okay.
they really appreciate the possibility to sort of see the people really that, hey, these are the kind of guys that work in this company. Would I be willing to work for this kind of a manager, for instance? So we receive a lot of unsolicited feedback on this, and the candidates really like it.
So it's not only the recruiter that is participating to the process, it's as well hiring manager that could be part of it, and as well the team that you could be working with. So it's
yeah, absolutely. So this is a fantastic recruitment marketing tool, and the best interviews that our customers are making are really such that there's 2 or 3 people posing the questions.
Yep.
They might be in the same video clip or they might be separate, but this really gives a lot of information to the candidates, and they are really happy to sort of get familiar with the possible employer this way.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. So as a company now, you have been having good start in Finland, and how does this year look like? What are the plans for 2013?
Well, the plans are, of course, to go international, and we still have a lot of ground to cover in Finland. But also we are expanding internationally, and we are building our partner network. And maybe the most important component here is that we have cooperation partnership with Monster in the Nordic countries, and we are really looking forward to working together with them. We have exactly the same customers, and our services are totally complementary, and there's no overlap. So we are really looking forward to seeing the results from that cooperation.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I guess this is a call for all the possible partners as well around the world that contact Ari if you are interested to expand your product portfolio to the video recruitment space and the selection with the video recruitment tool.
Absolutely. This is Aki. Thanks for your ad there. We would be happy to discuss with anybody because the tool is really global. It's easy to take into use. And we have fantastic feedback from both the recruiters and also the candidates. So we really believe that this is the way to go in the future.
Yep, yeah. So these were all positive. Any feedback that you think that you need to now work still with from the clients or the candidates? Is there any development needed, or is the tool totally ready? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that our tool is really fantastic from the IT technical point of view, and it's easy to use. The user interface is designed nicely. There's no extra buttons anywhere, and so on. But our main focus will go into the area of helping the recruiters to record their interviews, because currently there's really a mental barrier that some people are a little bit afraid of the video camera.
Yep.
They are considering that, okay, what kind of image am I displaying of myself as a rep for the company and so on. So our focus will go into helping recruiters to get the interviews done, because we can see very well that that candidates like to reply. And always when the reply rate is high, we know that this interview has been successful.
Yeah.
So we will focus on making this even more easier.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see that there is maybe cultural differences within the willingness of using this kind of tools? Or now this, of course, the clients has been mostly in the Nordics, but do you think that it's more easier to accept in other cultures, or have you heard any feedback?
There are cultural differences for sure, yes, and but also there are these kind of individual differences. So we are really actually focusing our efforts to work with recruiters who are a little bit willing to think in the new way, and maybe not so just willing to stick to the old way of doing things. But then, yes, there are cultural differences. And we see, for instance, that in the big Central European countries, there might be a little bit more caution in receiving this kind of an invitation to a video interview, whereas in the Nordic countries, people just like happily jump in when receive an email and so on. So we need to consider these kind of differences in the different countries as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will test after the call, and I hopefully it will give you as well feedback how it works here in Lithuania, where we are currently hiring. So we will see how the difference between maybe Nordics and Baltics are then after that experiment.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. And I would still, Aki, like to say that I think that the main benefit from our tool is that now that recruitment and getting employed is changing, so people have maybe shorter careers in companies, they take up shorter assignments,
yep,
and so on. So our purpose of existence is to make it easier for the employer to actually meet in person with the relevant candidate, and the other way around too. So we want to provide the candidates also with relevant information about the employer.
Yeah.
And with Recruit by Net, you can easily do this before anybody needs to start traveling or doing anything bigger things.
Yeah.
And this is the spot where we want to operate.
Okay, maybe one final question from that, because again, now I'm thinking we are having a Skype call. What is the benefit of not using that kind of like live tools that you can use, conference calling and others?
The big difference here is that if I book a recruitment interview on Skype, it will first of all we will need to find together, you and me, when we can do it at the same time.
Yeah.
And the second point is that I would probably set aside 45 minutes for this interview.
Yeah.
And you would have to do the same. But if you run your initial recruitment interview with this kind of an offline Recruit by Net way, then I can evaluate your personality within 5 minutes.
Yep.
So during the 45 minutes that we are now spending here, I could actually go through a large number of candidates.
Yeah.
And then do my selection based on that.
Yes, makes sense. And then of course then you have the kind of you can scale your interviews not having one-to-one and be more efficient. Makes sense for me, and I will start testing, and hopefully it will speed up our recruitment processes as well, and hopefully for many clients. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we can catch up later on to this year and see where you are and how the expansion to the other countries has gone. And all the best luck with the venture, and great to have this chat today.
Okay, Aki, thanks a lot, and looking forward to meeting you at True Helsinki later on during the spring.
Yes, great. See you there.
Thank you. Bye.